Good afternoon. My name is Lluvia Abreu. I am married. I have three girls, and I'm also a Bible school teacher at Temple Christ. I teach ages 4 to 6, and I really enjoy teaching. Teaching has become my passion. I believe teaching requires patience, creativity, and enthusiasm in order to teach young children the Word of God. Here are three techniques that are useful to successfully teach a lesson and get the message across. The first technique is becoming familiar with the Bible story that you will be teaching. The second technique is finding ways to introduce a story to the students. And the third and final technique is reinforcing the story to make sure it was understood. Now, I will explain more into depth the three techniques to teach the Bible school lesson. The first and most important technique is becoming familiar with the Bible story. This helps and allows the lesson to flow more effectively. Students have a better connection with the story, and it also encourages the students to want to learn more when they see the enthusiasm and confidence in a teacher. But before teaching the lesson, students have to have an idea of what the story is going to be about, which leads to the second technique, finding ways to introduce and present the story. One way is you can ask questions that would help them connect with the story with their everyday lives. For example, if you're teaching about obedience, I would perhaps ask students, how many of you know what obedience means? I would listen to their responses and give them an opportunity to explain what they feel obedience means, and then I would introduce a story. Another simple way to introduce a story is bringing a prompt or an object that is relevant to the story. This helps students get a visual of what the story is going to be about. For example, if the story is going to be over Jonah and the whale, I would bring a stuffed animal whale and ask the students what they think the story is going to be based on. This will help me lead them to the story. After all is taught, it is important to make sure the student understood the story and capture the message, which is our third and last technique, reinforcing the story. Ways to reinforce is by asking the student questions relevant to the story or allow them to share what they've learned and liked the most about the story. The teacher can either have them write or illustrate what they've learned. As a teacher, your main objective is to be able to have your students gain and learn new knowledge that would help them through their lives. I have a poster that I have made that has pictures of my current students. As you can see, my students are learning, they're interacting in class, they're paying attention, they're enthusiastic about the class itself, and they're illustrating what they learned the most about their lesson for that day. With that being said, this shows if you can get the attention of your student, it shows the teacher has successfully captured and maintained the interest, which leads to a great lesson. Let's review the three techniques of teaching a Bible lesson. Number 1 is becoming familiar with the Bible story. 2, it's finding ways to present the story. And 3, reinforcing the story. If these techniques are followed, you will be able to successfully teach your students a lesson that is well organized and will be memorable. I hope this helps you to capture a different view of what it takes to teach a lesson.